Jen pár tvůrcům se zaměřením na Česko povede zaujmout mezinárodní publikum. Arturovi se to povedlo. Jako expat na svém účtu Just Check Things sbírá desítky milionů views a zajímavý followery. How does it feel to be followed by the Czech president?
It feels nice, although we don't communicate as much as I would hope, because I have a lot of, secret, things that I want to ask him, but I don't think he would answer me. But just having a president follow you definitely feels like an achievement, and it's a nice flex.
It's a great flex because he doesn't follow me, so I'm a bit jealous, I have to say. Dnes probereme jeho zkušenost s Čechy, naší kulturou, humorem a stereotypy. Mrkneme se za oponu jeho práce s trendy a ambice do budoucna. Vítejte u prvního podcastu LOG v angličtině. It's 9 years since you moved to the Czech Republic. What was the reason? How did you end up here?
Sure, I mean, it's like pretty typical student story. I got enrolled to the master's degree in the city of Zlín, and afterwards, big city life was calling me, wanted to explore Czech Republic more, and obviously cannot escape Prague. And to me, it was like the no-brainer to go here. So, I got a job after uni and, started working here and, just living my life.
What made you stay then? Because, there is a question, am I coming back, because you're originally from Russia.
Yep.
So were you thinking about just moving back or staying here? And what was the reason that you stayed here?
Yeah, obviously this question, there's two different answers to this question depending on the timeline.
Okay.
Given, just geopolitical climate, I can give you one answer. But back then, I wanted to explore the world because before Czech Republic, I worked in America for a bit. I studied in Estonia. So I was having these international friends, international studying experience, and I want to kind of explore more. So to me, Czech Republic wasn't just the place I want to stay, but first is the base to kind of see Europe, see the world. But what happens? You move in, you like the place, you start living, you grow accustomed, and I just stayed. And after I started obviously learning Czech language and started making blog, there was no going back for me.
You are part of the Czech Republic now, because I have to say, if you're just listening to this podcast and you're not watching the video, you have an amazing hat on your head that is often in your videos. Where did you get it? Was it some souvenir shop?
It was a souvenir.
Yeah.
It was a souvenir, and to be honest, I need to sell it because I get a lot of DMs can I buy it somewhere? Because I have my merch eShop, and I don't have it there, and I think, damn, I gotta include it because people ask, and it's just so ridiculous that it's good. And I remember I was watching Czech hockey championship, earlier this year, and I went to the bar wearing it, and everyone was looking at me, even though everyone was having Czech flag on the cheeks and stuff. Still they had made the statement.
I'm not sure if I have ever seen it before on someone's hat, so it's very distinctive, I have to say. It's a job well done. But you're staying here in the Czech Republic, you're working. How does this content creation desire start?
This would be the perfect question for me to tell you my villain origin story, or to tell you my blogger origin story, and tell you I've been dreaming to become a blogger since the young age, bought my first camera with my pocket money, tell some story like Mr. Beast would say, I was passionate about creating content, nothing more.
I have mine as well, yeah.
But in all honesty, I sucked. And my story is just so pretty much I was so late for everything. I was actually, and I am still passionate about creating content, but I didn't do anything about it. And I think I started doing this blog really consistently right after the COVID. Okay. And that was late because all the TikTokers blew up. Usually a lot of TikTokers, especially TikTokers and just in general YouTubers, Insta influencers, they blew up during COVID, right? Because everyone was engaged 24/7 and there was nothing better to do. And I was consuming content, doing nothing, just not having a vision for that. And after COVID ended, I'm oh, I gotta start my blog. And train was choo-choo, far away.
Already far away.
Yeah, so I had to catch up, and I didn't have super ambitious goals I need to meet 1 million followers. No, I was trying to find myself, but I was, still kind of consistent about it. And, it reaped some results. So kids, if you're watching this, even, if you're late to the trend, but if you're passionate about it, Czech president or president of your country might give you a follow.
It might all end well.
Yeah, so keep on doing, kids. Keep on doing.
What was the original idea or concept? Because you were an expat living in the Czech Republic, which is a story of many people here in our country. What was it about the expat content Because I've seen some of your first steps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, I don't clean up my Instagram. Pretty much if you scroll down enough to the very first posts, you will see how they were. And if I recall correctly, my bio back then, it said, I'm expat, I'm an expat living in Czech Republic, making observations, making memes, you know? But for some reason, I got a lot of Czech people following me. So my idea was like to make English-speaking humor for expats, but a lot of Czechs started following me. It's like okay, this is not what I was, hoping for. But then, I started kind of small with very local things about Prague versus Brno, this type of stuff, and started, I think, gradually kind of expanding the humor. In essence, what I'm doing, I think I'm kind of exporting Czech lifestyle, Czech culture, and just like type of living in Central Europe. Not Eastern Europe. Exporting.
Well played.
Exporting this lifestyle to people abroad. Because I got like some DMs from Czech people like in Canada, and like, oh man, I used your content to show my friends in uni about Czech Republic because they had no idea, right? So I think pretty much original idea still kind of the same, right? I'm exporting humor, exporting lifestyle in a very, engaging, in a humorous way.
I like what you're saying about just starting something and seeing it's a bit different, that Czech people started to follow you. So you just adapted a little bit to that. Do you think that this thing, like adapting still and all the time to the newest trends and people who follow you and something like that, is it important for you? Do you do it on purpose, or is it something that comes naturally to you?
I would say I'm not like a natural blogger. I don't have this, passion for creating content that is just in my eyes, and I just see everything as a content. Like, right, life is not the content for me. I don't think I'm very early to the trends, to be honest, as I was not early to the blog. But like when I see someone is doing, I try to kind of do it with my own flavor, see if it works. If it works, I continue, because I mean, in all honesty, Instagram, like TikTok, or this blogger life is about like being yourself, but at the same time, like having your flavor, right? But at the same time, packaging it into formats, trends that are consumed by people, right? Because if you're gonna do like, I don't know, some pictures, like some memes from the 2010, like people, Gen Z not gonna buy,
no
right?
one cares. Yeah.
So you have to strike balance between yourself and with mass media trends. And I think this is like probably the hardest part of being a blogger, because it's like your whole concept of how you do things. You need to constantly work on that.
I relate so much to what you're saying about like putting something yours into the mix, because I feel like a lot of people just copy the trend and they just copy paste it and release it, but it's not about them. It's not from their perspective. So how do you make sure it's yours, distinctively yours? What is like your trademark?
Like I try to put some Tivole sprinkle on top of that.
You have it on your shirt,
yes,
right?
I have it on my shirt, so which is like the merch I'm selling.
Just insert it.
Yeah.
Where do you sell that?
Buy my merch. Commercial break. Terms and conditions apply.
So back to the question: how do you make sure it's like distinctively yours when you take some trend?
Yeah, I think right now I have this kind of Czech character in my reels who wears this hat. Yeah. Sometimes have these like ponožky v sandálech, which is like obviously Czech thing. So I kind of try to take the lifestyle trends that exist, like let's say in Poland, in Spain, or elsewhere in the world, and then show them in comparison to Czech Republic, right? And I think having this character like I do, kind of, and switching the audio, switching, the beat, having a beat drop, kind of helps to distinguish between like what is there and what is mine.
We can be specific, because I have some of your videos right here, and I would like to ask you about them specifically, because I'm always intrigued, like where do you take your ideas from, or who informs you about some kinds of trends? So just watch this one. I have to explain it a little bit. You're just asking Czech Siri a question in this reel.
Hey Siri, is it a good weather to ski today?
Today, very good prepared trial. It's good weather, good waxing, aber small Probleme, 10 kilometers Schuschen. Dort ist Pulverschnee, ist kalt Schnee in meine Ski jak se řekne pomalý, very slowly, very slowly.
Very slowly. Where did you find Standa Řezáč? How did it happen?
Okay, so the way I made this reel is like I decided to go on YouTube and go deep into the Czech meme archives.
Okay.
Because I think this video is like, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, so it's like very old. I saw it, and obviously it's hilarious, and it's very much relates to what I do, and I was surprised how no one saw that. Like no one did anything with that, because this is just pure gold. I'm like, bro, I gotta do it. So and when I posted it, because I think there are like a couple of videos I did with this soundbite, and people like, whoa, flash from the past, blessed from the past. So everyone was like, whoa. So sometimes you just need to kind of like roll your sleeves up and go on YouTube, see what was like trendy like 20 years ago.
And dig deep and very deep, because some of those things are just like amazing. But then you have one of your, I think, most popular reels, which is with the Lidl bag. When you as a Czech buy something in a plastic bag, you wear it everywhere. So you have these like specific places that you can take your bag after buying it. It's a beautiful little bag that you use in like a swimming pool bag and gym bag. I love the sound. Hiking bag, travel bag. It's exactly what I did when I was younger. I always had this like plastic bag everywhere for like my gym and hiking and stuff like that. So it was very relatable for me. How did you find out about like Czechs liking their plastic bags?
The interesting thing about this video is that I'm doing, like, before making this video, I was doing the same, but I wasn't realizing that. And then some of my followers DM'd me with just like, making fun of something. Because I tried to reply to all the DMs I get. And that follower was like, oh, okay, just let me pack my little bag and go to gym. And I'm like, bro, little bag to gym. And I'm like, oh no, it's just there. Like, it's just there for grabs. And like, I've been doing the same, but not realizing it. And coming back to your question, I think I get a lot of inspiration from my community. Shout out to all of my followers, and I love you guys. Because, I mean, they're very engaging. They DM me, they comment, they, we're having like really so much fun. And like, this was born from some text that was dropped offhandedly, and there was like nothing behind it. And I just like, from one sentence, I was like, there is a whole concept. So that's how it was born.
So what percentage of your content that is inspired by your community? What would it be?
Maybe like 70%.
Wow.
Because like, obviously, like, you don't exist apart from your community, right? So you kind of represent them, you cater to them, like you are them, right? In some sense. And you really need to do the sentiment check. You really need to know what they think of you, what they talk about, what's important to them. And I write, after like each big video, I try to go into the comments, in the comment section, see what they talk about, because this has been several times when I do the video, get a lot of like 2 or 3 comments on that can be that can be created into like follow-up video. So, and it kind of all makes the sequence, right? So people see this one, see 2 or 3 more that kind of were created from their comment. I try to give shout out to people who give me inspiration. So yeah, this is how I do it.
Cool. I love it. And I think that many creators underestimate working with community and like listening to the community, and people really appreciate it. So then I have a third one. For a while it'll be the last one, but we will have some more coming for sure. But this one is from Karlovy Vary. I'm leaving to Karlovy Vary because of the film festival very soon, so it is very relatable to me again. What happens when you sneeze in Karlovy Vary?
Buď zdorov.
Slava Sovětskému Sojuzu.
Slava Sovětskému Sojuzu. So how did this happen? Like, you're originally from Russia, so was it something that you knew, that in Karlovy Vary there is a big community of
So thing is that I always knew that there is like big Russian-speaking community in Karlovy Vary, and I've been several times to Karlovy Vary, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. But then I saw this audio, and it just hit me, because I think this original audio was from Minecraft or something. Like just people in
the server, like falling.
They just like flooding in a server, and that's it. And then I just saw it's someone using in the reel. It wasn't about Czech Republic, But I'm like, bro, this is just straight up Karlovy Vary. This is straight up Karlovy Vary. I'm like, it's just like, okay, you know, it existed all the time. You're not paying attention, but just something clicks. And you're just like, okay, you just, you know, there's like content ready. So that's why, you know, a lot of content that I create right now was inspired by things that I did or saw like some time ago. And it just, you know, comes back to you, you know, right now.
That's great, because that's how inspiration works. Like you pick so many like pieces of information that just are somewhere there in your head, and then the right moment comes and the right trend comes and you connect it together. And I think that's what makes a great creator, this ability to like combine the newest trend with something that you observed. Talking about observing, are you a big observer? Are you like watching people and people watch on the street and getting inspiration from there? Or are you about like more like digging information online?
I think I'm a good observer because like I did my bachelor in journalism and like doing field experiments, going out there and just like paying attention to
you have your background there.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of that's what they were preaching, right? To be, you know, make observations, because you need to kind of take this objective reality and put it through your subjective, let's say, outlook on the world. And this is essentially what I'm doing, right? Taking things that are there, processing them, spitting them out in a real format.
Cool. Did you ever think about doing journalism again? Because I think in one interview you mentioned that you were planning to do like street interviews stuff.
Like, I think there are two to this question. Things is like being professional journalist. I don't think I have, you know, like commitment to that.
Yeah.
I think I've always been like enjoying creating, you know, content for fun. And I think like I have huge respect for the professional journalism, which I think is kind of fading these days, I think all over the world in East and West. And I do really have a lot of respect for that. And I don't think I can do that. But as for, you know, creating stuff, you know, that entertains people, I still, you know, use the skills I learned.
But how do you keep with this incredible pace of like trends coming and going?
And just coming back to what I said initially, as a blogger, I really sucked in the beginning.
What was the reason? Why do you think so?
Because I had no idea what I'm doing. And I had no I was making memes, right? But like meme dumps all over Instagram.
So there was no plan.
No plan, exactly. But since I was kind of doing it, you have enough critical mass of your content to kind of see what's working, so you can, you know, go in some direction. So right now, I think I developed way more discipline, way more like confidence in myself. And to be honest, right now, I'm really dedicating a lot of time. Like recently I was watching Mr. Beast interview. It's like how to be successful on YouTube. And one of his things he said, like, I'm doing that 24/7. Like, you don't need to be like me because I'm crazy about it. But I'm like, I don't have anything else in my life. I'm doing content. And I do have something else in my life. But I try to dedicate big enough space in my life, you know, in these 24 hours to the content. So like each moment I have free, so I have a choice. Should I go on YouTube and consume content or try to create the content, you know? So like, okay, listen to music on the subway or just, you know, ideate the trend. So I really like try to put more time there, and it shows.
But I feel like it's so complicated as a creator to be like, am I finding inspiration or am I just killing time with like some bullshit content? How do you deal with this? Because I have no recipe for this after 12 years of doing this.
I think like you can earn a lot of money from making some, you know, blogger, how to be blogger course, if you can find that, because if you can answer that question, because it has been so many times I'm scrolling Insta, TikTok for like hour, because, you know, it's just like a rabbit hole, just fall down into it. And then I'm like, after an hour, my brain is fried. I'm even more tired than I was before, you know, just like lying on the bed, like watching it like this. And then I'm like, oh, I have no ideas. I have no trends, no audios, no templates I can use.
And there is this guilt that you haven't done what you wanted to do. Like this, that's just a terrible combination.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like the, let's say, you can cry on the golden throne a bit and say, this is like the downside of being a blogger, because it's hard to differentiate, you know, exploration, ideation versus just content consumption. So, but still, you know, the more I kind of try to explore the content, the more I try to ideate, still there is going to be a return on your investment for sure. So yeah, you can spend a lot of time, but still you're going to get something back. Sure. And it pretty much circles back to what I was saying. The more dedicated time to it, the more, you know, you see.
The payback.
Yep.
Okay, I have some quick questions. just like 1 or 2 words, what would you prefer? So the first one is the most important one that can ruin your career with Czech people in 1 second. And that is, what's your favorite beer brand?
Ooh, okay.
I made it a bit more serious than needed, but just I wanted to create some drama.
I would say I love pivovar Matuška.
Wow, okay.
And I'm really proud that they're kind of big right now, and they have like some of the, like, they're not brewers, but the
they have Automat Matuška.
Yeah, Automat Matuška. They have Dva Kohoti here in Karolin. But I'm really proud that I liked it before it was popular.
Before it was cool.
I was like, drinking it before it became a trend. So like I like Matuška a lot. I think they're doing a great job marketing wise and beer like flavor wise. They're just like great beer.
This podcast is not sponsored by Matuška Pivovar. In a can or in a bottle?
Okay, I don't like Pilsner. Please don't hate me, but I try not to drink Pilsner because it's everywhere. But if I'm drinking something in the can, there's like this weird pivovar called Klášter.
Klášter, yeah.
It's like,
I know it.
I'm not sure, is it from Morava, from Brno? I'm not sure where's it from.
I'm not sure. I think it's from the north, but I'm not sure.
Maybe. Like, you don't see it much, but for some reason I like it, and it has like really good flavor, but it's very rare to see it. Or something, when it comes to more popular beer, I like Svíjany. Like, Svíjany is really good. When you can on the bottle, like, great beer.
Man, I expected some like mainstream big brands, and you're going with this niche things. I love it. Svíčková or smažený sír?
Oh man, you really want to kill my career, do you?
Sure. That's what I'm trying to do here.
Okay, this is just gonna get me in hot water, but neither.
What?
Yes, and I have perfect reasoning. There's like meme like, why are you booing me? I'm right. So like I can explain why it doesn't make sense. So svíčková, it's a great stuff, but then the tenderloin they use for the meat, it's great for steak. And in svíčková you kind of you slow cook it with you kind of with this sauce, so you're kind of killing the steak meat, which is like,
I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of creating something out of steak meat, which is already perfect. And as for Smažák, okay, to be fair, once in my life I've had great Smažák. This is not it was Bernard Pub. Again, this is not sponsored by Bernard Pub. But this was the only time I had great Smažák. But the reason I really hate it, and people, I don't think they realize it enough, is like, oftentimes you eat Smažák at some whatever place that just serves whatever food. And it's super dry. It gets French fries that are over dried. Even I can prepare better, French fries. And this Smažák is also dried. And you get like tiny package of tatarska amačka, and you need to squeeze it enough to be juicy for both Smažák and hranolky. And it's just like super dry.
I feel your pain. That's happening often. Yeah, there is just not enough ketchup or mayonnaise.
Exactly.
For dry ass Smažák. I get it. So what's your favorite Czech food?
Okay, I really like soups.
You like soups? That's great.
I do love soups.
Just keep in mind, these are quick questions. I forgot it in the middle of it. So let's stay quick. Favorite Czech movie?
TV show or movie?
It can be a TV show.
Okay, I really like Most.
You liked Most. It's filled with memes. I get why. A favorite Czech letter?
Letter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Letter in alphabet.
I mean, Dřeřicha.
Okay, you just pronounced Dřeřicha better than half Czechs. Hats down. I don't have a hat. You do, but I would just hats down. Favorite Czech YouTuber? This is a trick one.
Kovy.
Great, perfect. And a favorite Czech word or phrase?
Ty vole.
On your t-shirt. Again, here we are. So recently you raced through this 100K on Insta. Congrats on that. This is a big one. So you're pretty famous now. Do you get recognized on the street?
Well, I think I definitely get recognized more than before. I mean, that's why I'm sitting in front of OG YouTuber Kovy. you know. But yeah, I definitely do get recognized more. And it's just so funny that the first time I got recognized, I was like 10K and I was making memes. There was no my face. There was little or no my face on the feed. And I was sitting in the bar, reading the book, drinking beer. That's what I like to do. And some guy, oh yeah, you just check things, love your content. I was so shocked that they recognized me. But now, like it happens more often. And I think the furthest, the most remote place I've been recognized at was Canary Islands. It was an expat bar in Gran Canaria, super dark, 2 a.m. Like you cannot see shit. And like some girl just like, oh, I know you. Like, what do you mean? I was drunk a bit. I was like, I thought she was trying to flirt with me. No. And then she's like, that's you. I'm like, wow. She was like Czech bartender. And like, how did she recognize me?
I love it.
So that was crazy.
So that's pretty serious. You get recognized in Canary Islands.
Yeah, that was pretty nice, not gonna lie. But recently, you know, it was the most strange encounter happened. I was in gym.
Yeah.
I was in locker room and I was standing in my underwear.
Yeah.
And one guy's like, oh, I know you. I know you for the plug. And I'm just standing in my underwear.
Oh
like,
my God. No way. So what did you do? Were you like, yeah, do we shake hands now? Or we just stare at each other?
Exactly.
And it's just weird. God, yeah. This can get quite stressful from time to time. When you're meeting new people and you might, you know, get to know a new friend, they're asking you about what you do, you answer, you do Instagram account, and they want to see something from what you do. Which one of your videos would you pick to show them? And why?
In all fairness, I think I need to be more aggressive when it comes to promoting myself, because oftentimes when I meet new people, I don't say that I'm a blogger, like saying like, yeah, I'm doing like marketing or whatever, because it's like my main job. But I think I need to kind of be more pushy. But when it comes to like showing something that, you know, like probably that video with a bag would be one of the nice videos. Also, and there's another video that I do really like. Some mall at Valtavska, I think. And this is just a video of me just opening the door to the smoking terrace. And the terrace has a view of the cemetery.
I love it.
And this is content I didn't need to create. I just like walked with the POV, you know, like camera, like this is the video. And like if you want to like encapsulate your life in Czech Republic, this is like, you know, the most hardcore as it gets, just like smoking over cemetery.
I loved it. There was like the sign on the glass door, like this is a smoking area. You opened it and there was an overview on the cemetery, and I was like, that is dark, man.
But when I saw it, I'm like, this is just the content. Yeah. So, you know, like I told you before, that sometimes you work for inspiration, but sometimes inspiration really finds you.
Yeah. From time to time, it's a great feeling when it happens. So let me guess a question you get asked a lot, and it's, proč nemluvíš česky?
Jako mluvím česky, ale nemluvím jako tak často, protože jako v práci mluvím anglicky, s kamošima mluvím anglicky, rusky, česky, jako, ale jak jsem původně zmínil, že jako mým cílem je jako exportovat jako českou kulturu a určitě musíš to dělat v angličtině, protože jako ten jako český trh jako omezený. A musíš jako mít, jako, jestli chceš dosáhnout větší jako auditorii, tak to jako musíš dělat v angličtině.
Mluvíš skvěle česky, by the way.
Díky.
Wow, okay. I have this one more video that we're gonna watch, and it's about describing Czech humor in 6 words. And I would just like to ask you if it's just like, what 6 words?
Racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, anti-Semitism.
Czech humor in 6 words.
Oh man.
How did the Czech humor influence you?
In all fairness, that video was not, it was a testament to the Czech humor, not you know, my criticism of Czech humor.
I think every single Czech person understands it.
And this is the thing, Czech have the best sense of humor. Man, this is crazy. Like, Czechs do not get offended. They just take jokes super easily. And like, I prefer to think that, you know, I'm not laughing at Czechs. I'm, you know, laughing with Czechs, right? And Czech people, even that sometimes I'm becoming like some jokes a bit like not on the edge because I'm not provoking, but still, you know, some can be a bit harder than others, but they take them so easily. And then just, you know, in the comments just even harder. I'm like, dude, like I would never post it, and you just, you know, commented. So Czechs have the best sense of humor. This is like hands down.
Man, I feel like there is no need to laugh at Czechs because we do it ourselves. You know, just you can just laugh with us because we are laughing about ourselves all the time. So do you think like the time spent here in the Czech Republic influenced your sense of humor? Are you...
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think like, okay, there are two things that come to my mind right away. My humor became darker.
Okay.
You know, Czech humor is very dark at times. And I really like it because Czechs don't shy away from making, you know, dark jokes, but they don't, you know, have, you know, the heart behind those jokes. So don't, you know, make them to kind of hurt people. Yeah. They just make fun because it's fun. And I have been working in Czech companies, going on the Czech team buildings, and the jokes they make there, let me tell you, if it was United States, like half of the office would be fired tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
They just like, everyone's gone. And so definitely my humor became darker, and cancel culture don't work in Czech Republic because like Czech Republic would have to cancel itself, you know?
I think it might happen in the future. We'll have to just cancel ourselves. You're right about it because it's very hard for us Czechs sometimes abroad because we feel like everybody has this sense of humor. And I remember the first time I was telling a Czech joke abroad with a table of Americans. It was a terrible situation because it was very dark. There was no laughs, and people are like, "Man, you just can't say this out loud. It's just no, don't do it." And I was like, "What? It's funny. You are in LA. This can get you in trouble."
So Czechs like really go hard. Oh yeah, I think like the joke I was thinking about was like, what's the similarity between like necrophile and beer lover? Like obojí mají rádi studenou dvanáctku.
Oh my god, that's the first time I hear
No
this.
way.
Oh my god, that's just... Oh, wow, okay.
Oh,
I love it, but it's just, it's a classic example.
Like Czech humor.
And just imagine you're sitting in a bar somewhere in LA and you just like pull out this joke. Yeah.
You'll probably get deported, you know,
right away.
On the next flight.
They're gonna get you. Yeah. So my question that I prepared was like, did you ever overstep? But you were saying that Czechs are very understanding in that, so probably not. Yeah. But one thing I need to add is that some of your videos are not only popular with Czechs, but with Slavic culture abroad. How did it happen for the first time when you created like this Czech meme thing and it resonated with like Polish people?
Czech market, as I mentioned before, is still a bit limited, right? So, because like not many people in the world speak Czech, unlike, for example, Spanish, right?
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to kind of step maybe beyond only Czech Republic and can encapsulate, you know, these like very Slavic things, which obviously Czech Republic is a part of, right? And they can relate. So I wanted to encapsulate wider range of things and compare them to what's there. Yeah. And that's why I kind of started comparing Slavic life or Eastern, countries to the Western countries. So kind of try, and obviously more people could, resonate with that. So that's what I kind of started doing recently.
I have one more example of your reel that's talking about Slovak language and this one moment, like what Slovak people don't say.
Do not say.
Slovak people do not say.
My tire fell off. Instead, they say.
Ujevali mi koleso. Kde mám moje koleso? Dajte mi koleso!
And there is one more that is about Polish people, and it's watching Harry Potter in Polish, which is like this great entrance of yours. I was very curious about what I'm gonna hear.
Expecto Patronum, kurva!
It just fits so well. I'm surprised there is no in Harry Potter, to be honest, but
it should have been there.
It should have been there. Especially those last, parts were very dark, so it would be fitting. So you sometimes experiment with like targeting Polish audience. Is it more rewarding because there is like a lot of Polish people, right? Poland is much bigger of a country. So is it more engaging or?
So there are two things to that. First of all, yes, definitely. Like how many? I'm not sure how many people live in Poland, but maybe 20 million, maybe more.
Even more, I think.
It's like it's a big country, right? It's one, like it's a bigger. Like I want to reach out to new people, but also it's very interesting to notice the differences, like being Slav myself, to notice the slight nuances between, you know, Slovak, Czech, Polish, Czech, because, for example, to the average Western tourist, it's like all the same, right? But there are differences. Like, for example, you cannot say "Šukam deti v sklepe" here in Czech Republic, right? And
man, I'm just not prepared for these phrases. It's just so good.
You know, right?
Yeah, there are differences.
And Polish viewers like, that's not funny. Why is he laughing? He just looks
wrong about it.
Yeah, he looks for kids, you know, in the shop. You know, there's nothing wrong about it. He's a good father. So that's why I was kind of trying to find new source of inspiration.
Yeah.
And, you know, this stuff kind of came to me, and I'm thinking, okay, this is just, you know, kind of a nice next step to kind of expand the content.
And I feel like Polish and Czechs like enjoy making fun of each other.
Yes, but what I like actually about like Slovaks, Czechs, and Polish is like when you go to the comment section, like "Zdravím bratia z Česka," so they're like super engaging, like really loving each other. Yeah. So when there's like friendly banter, you know, like kind of brotherly, you know, jokes, pranks, so people enjoy that.
Sure, it's like Praha Brno kind of thing.
Yeah, but on a more like on a wider
international. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'm just wondering what motivates you the most, because we were talking about numbers a little bit, we were talking about followers, but me as a creator myself, I know it can get tricky, because, you know, just number of views doesn't really reflect everything that you put in there, or a quality of thing and stuff like that. So what do you chase, and what motivates you when you're creating?
Initially, after I started becoming big, I was like, oh, I need to become great. But you know, what's the greatness? Thank you. So you don't know, like great is like very, you know, vague word. So I think right now what motivates me is to kind of become more professional, more of the complete blogger, you know, because some bloggers, for example, like there is, I think it's called Lime Carps on YouTube, on Insta. He's like English, live in Germany. Okay. And I got to know him quite recently before I started my blog, but essentially he does the same, you know, Englishman, not in New York, but in Germany, and just making fun of, you know, of his life. Yeah. But he's like so many good characters. He's like really, you know, like you can see he's British because his humor is like on point, and has very full developed characters in his reels. So he's like really into that. So my goal now is to, you know, become more professional in what I'm doing. And so you can watch like, oh, this is just Czech things, you know. For example, you know, there is like a famous Instagrammer, like Gabby, I think of him, like the guy who does this when, you know, people kind of show do it yourself, right? And he's like, here's the belt, right? Instead of some, you know, rope around your waist. So my goal is to kind of have my signature kind of signature things that all people be like, oh, this is just Czech things. And, you know, I want to have it not only that in people in you know, will recognize me in Prague, but I don't know, like if I'm in Times Square in New York, people, oh, this is just Czech things, you know, or so I want to kind of take what I'm doing this kind of locally and try to, you know, become a Mr. Worldwide. Call me Mr. Worldwide. You know, like the Pitbull. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a full-time job that you're juggling here with your online career. So how are you managing that? It has to be very challenging.
Yeah, that's challenging. Luckily, the job I'm doing right now is also revolving around social media marketing and about like marketing strategies. So when I'm at work scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, you never know. Yeah. Either I'm slacking off or I'm hardly working, right? So that's a great benefit that I can just, you know, look at TikTok and be professional. Like, shut up. This is like business strategy going on. So I think I'm juggling it quite all right, because obviously it's like same domain, and a lot of things that I'm doing there can be applicable in terms of optimization, whatever, you know, workflow optimization. So it doesn't really bother me much. So like, but my goal is like ultimately like have, you know, like not a blogger life, because obviously many people want to become bloggers, but for wrong reasons, I think. But my goal is to kind of make it big enough and profitable enough to, you know, dedicate it all my life. Not all my life, but all my, like, let's say, most of time in the day, because, you know, if you make it big, you need to be like really committed to that. And I think this is where I'm going.
Man, fingers crossed. I think you were on the right path. It just gets better from here. I'll be rooting for you, and I think we all be rooting for you, man. So, Artur, thank you very much for accepting the invitation, and thank you for being a part of this interview.
Děkuji moc krát, vole.
Díky, vole.